Now, do you understand the situation? You have people that come up, the religious leaders of that day, saying, okay, Yeshua, we're bringing you this woman who's obviously repentant. She's on her knees. She's crying. And he says she was caught in the act of adultery. And the Torah says to stone her. This is a trap for him. Because if he says she's wrong, we need to stone her, then he's lacking compassion. If he doesn't say to stone her, then he's not abiding by the Torah. Do you see how he's tracked there? You know, we feel the same way. You know, what do we have to say? Are we for the religious or are we for the secular? How do you answer that question? I don't know. Now listen, the whole thing is false in the first place. Tell me something. Can you catch a woman in the act of adultery by herself? That's a good one. Something's not fitting in this story. And that's we're asking the question, are these people really looking for justice? Or are they looking to fulfill a religious image that they have? Think about that. See what I'm talking about? Today's society. This is going on right now. Are we really looking for justice? Or are we looking just to blame someone? And then, if you go back to the Torah, it's amazing. The words actually say, and that you will stone the man and also the woman. It's the man who has the primary responsibility there. It's the man who has the primary guilt, and he's the first one that has to be stoned. Not only is it the woman without the man, it's the man first that has to be stoned. Where was he? Was he in the crowd? Probably. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But you see, we're stuck in this situation. And we look at that, and we're sitting here as believers in the land of Israel, and we hear the Orthodox Jews saying to the seculars, you're in sin, this is an abomination. And we go, well, yeah, we agree. But you're not offering an answer to this. What's the answer to this situation? How do we treat people? How are we looking to treat? How do we speak to our religious friends, and how do we speak to our secular friends? This is a real issue for us today in the land of Israel. I know he gives us an example. Let's go on. Next one. Verse, going on the same thing, verses 6 through 9, we're still in John chapter 8. And Yeshua knelt down and wrote with his finger upon the ground. And when they continued to ask him, when they continued to ask him, he stood up and said, Mi mikem naki michet, sheyehu harishon lashlich alea et even. He says, who among you is without sin? Let him be the first one to throw the stone. Now he's adding something here. The first one to throw the stone is in the Torah. But he's adding here something, and he's saying, which one of you is without sin? Now, that's actually what was meant back in the Torah, because Moses said, pursue righteousness. It wasn't about finding people to stone. It was about finding righteousness. And so the questions, we have to ask the questions. The religious people, the secular people, us, you, me. The issue is not who to blame, but the issue is, are we being righteous? Check your heart first. This is not about blaming someone else. This is about becoming righteous. That's our issue. Just because you're secular or you're religious doesn't mean you're righteous. And our people are sinking this. As I said, the seculars, the two big words there are freedom and love. We want love and we want freedom. But if you have that without righteous values, you put love and freedom together without righteous values, and that equals love and freedom with no righteousness equals sexual immorality, period. Period. That's all they have. And on the other side, the religious, well, we want righteous, and all you come up, you're just condemning everybody. And you're being phonies because you're not doing it right yourself. We need to wake up. We say, wait a minute. We need to say to our religious friends, wait, the righteousness is in your heart. Don't point to the secular people and tell they're right or wrong. Just because you kiss a mezuzah and separate meat and milk, that doesn't make you a righteous person. Let's deal with your heart. It's easy to laugh at them. I'm talking about you. Okay. Yeshua knelt down and wrote on the ground as a sign to say, just to remind us, a little hint, read my book, Who Ate Lunch with Abraham, that it was Yeshua who wrote the Ten Commandments. Let's go on now, John chapter 8. Let's see how he finishes this up. Verses 10 through 12. This is so beautiful. And here's the whole message right here, the next 5 minutes, and that's it. He's the Kef Yeshua v'amarla. Yeshua stood up and said to her, Isha, efohem, ha'im lo hirshion otach ish? Yeshua stood up and said to her, woman, where are they? As everybody began to walk away. I guess I forgot to read that. Everyone walked away. He said, where are those who are accusing you? Hishiva v'amra, and she answered and said, Af lo achad, Adoni. No one is, Lord. Amar la, and he said to her, Gam ani eineni marshi otach. L'chi v'al tosifi l'chto od. He said, I also am not condemning you, but go your way and don't sin anymore. What an amazing thing to say. That we can speak to people and say, look, we love you. If you're doing something wrong, stop it. Because we love you. It's not an issue of condemnation. It's an issue of love to help people where they're at. If people are smoking cigarettes, we tell them to stop because we don't want them to get lung cancer. If they're taking drugs, we want them to stop because we don't want them to destroy their mind. And when women are being convinced to do things, and even convinced to do that they want to do it, and they're destroying their bodies or getting their bodies destroyed for them, we love you. Stop it. Don't do it. Yeshua הוסיף לדבר אליהם ואמר, אני אור העולם. איש שהולך אחריי לא יתהלך בחושך, אלא אור החיים יהיה לו. And Yeshua continued and said to her, I am the light of the world. No one can come after me and walk in darkness, but the light of life will be in him. And I want to tell you, it doesn't matter if it's politically right or left. It doesn't matter if it's religious or secular. We have to have a change of heart. Nobody does. And there is no one that can change our heart other than Yeshua. He is the light of the world. And if not, there's darkness in there. It can be religious darkness or it can be secular darkness. It can be condemnation or it can be condemning yourself. Look what he's saying. Now let's hear this. Now don't think about somebody else right now. Think about you. Let's bring it home a little bit. You know, have you been involved in sexual sin? Not all sexual sin is physical. Some sexual sin is video, pornography. Have you been involved in something? He said, Jesus is saying, look, I'm not condemning you. It's hurting you. Don't do it anymore. Come on, get out of it. Don't feel condemned. Don't get stuck in this. Is what a lot of people do, and this is what happens to a lot of women in the sex creed. They get stuck in this loop. Well, I'm no good. I've already blown it. I'm a piece of trash, so I might as well just go back to it again. And Jesus says, no, that's not who you are. You're my son. You're my daughter. Here, let me help you out of here. Let me give you life and light into your life. Let me help you out of here. You're not a piece of trash. Don't condemn yourself, and don't let anybody else condemn you. He said, I'm not here for condemnation. God is not here for condemnation. And we're not here for condemnation. We are here to help people and to give them hope. Just to tell people that they're sinning and don't give them a way to get out of sin isn't doing them any good. But he said, now here's the trick. He's not condoning sin. He's not condemning it. Condoning and saying, well, I understand. Just go on. It's just the way it is. No, he's not saying that. He's saying, I don't condemn you and I don't condone it. I love you and I want to help you get out of this. There's a way out and I can help you. And that's why people like you and people like my daughter and others are reaching out to people and saying, look, we want to help you out of this. We're not here to condemn you. We want to give you a way out because we love you and we care. There's not an ounce of condemnation in our voice and in our hearts, but we're saying stop doing what's destroying your life and destroying those around you. Don't do it anymore. Come on, we've got a solution for you. That you've got to have a solution for someone. Just to tell them not to do it is not the way to come out. And Yeshua said, I have the light. I have the power. I have the righteousness. I have the spirit. I have the way to give you the positive energy, as our young people say, to get out of this situation.